It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. Why don't you tell them, Canada Dry?
It means we are going to review AEW Dynamite tonight, and we're going to do it entertaining you while Tiff doesn't oogle the women on the show.
Oh, yeah.
No oogling. Joe, do your thing.
Look, the only way we can entertain is if you hit that music.
Clear for takeoff.
That's all systems go. We need that AFW logo up. Stat.
You're watching the AFW Network.
Hey, it's Wednesday night. If you're not out drinking, doing drugs, eating Tim Hortons, then what the hell are you doing? You're probably watching us, which is good. It's a good thing that you watch us.
Look,
Thank you for coming and talking with us tonight.
There is 100% chance of you having a better life talking to us than doing drugs. I'm just saying.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
How did drugs get into this situation?
I mean, vitamins. That's what I mean. Vitamins. Anyways.
Hey, it's Brent Barr. Hey, Brent.
What's up, Brent?
Hey.
It's been a while since I've seen him in the chat.
Yeah.
So to introduce myself, I was appointed the Chief Shenanigans Officer.
You know why you're appointed Chief Shenanigans Officer?
What's that?
Because you always keep your supper warm.
Always keep my supper warm. Anyways,
there was an awkward pause.
I am, of course, I am, of course, the JFB, James from Boston. Before we kick in everybody else's, so a couple of years ago, we had me and Jessica had to get a tree cut, and I called a bunch of people and landed on this one company. And the people who came out had this T-shirt that said this: "Wet Tree Shirt Contest." I could not stop laughing, and so I went to the owner because I went to give her the check, and I was like, "Hey, what do I need to do to get a shirt?" She's like, "I'll see if I can wrangle one up for you." Months later, I get this envelope in the mail, open it up, and it's my T-shirt. So I was like,
"That's awesome!"
Shout out to him. So, anyways, go ahead and introduce yourself, good sir.
I am the founder, the godfather, if you will, of AFW. I am that gingered up, that bubbly one, Canada effing dry, damn it.
Canada Dry, you got too many names. You done messed up. You almost done zip.
That was, you know what? That was pure improv there.
I love it.
I think I screwed up, and I'm like, I got to keep going.
When you're stuck, like I've been in positions where I've been in an argument and I'm rolling, and then I completely lose direction from what the original argument was about. But I keep going because eventually I'm going to get right back.
Yeah, you're going to find your way back.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like a GPS.
Yeah, because I started with the Godfather of it. I'm like, now what do I say? Because you're not starting that way before. Yeah. You can't change your start and expect to end it at the same place.
Yeah. Now you know who's got a really simple intro? This gentleman to the corner of me.
Guy below me.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. It's me. It's me. It's that EVP coming to you on a glorious Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Ready to talk some AEW and just, have a good time hanging out with some chill people.
Yeah.
You just ad-libbed at the end there. You were like, I gotta spruce it up after you said might as well so simple.
Yeah.
Speaking of chill, she is one of the chillest people in the world. But she will give it to you straight. She has this thing on Facebook where you can ask her a question and she will respond with an answer. That takes balls. He's got lady balls. Introduce yourself.
And
Lady Balls Luna, I love it.
I'm the moon angel, Luna, with that angel face. And you
Yeah.
know it. Halo's up.
Halo's up.
All right.
You're just a mass manipulator. You know, if you say Halo's up, I got to go along with it.
Yep.
What you don't know is Luna's halo is held up by devil horns.
You damn right.
Oh man.
As long as the halo's still there.
Halo overtakes.
Hanging. By the way, all you kids out there, don't take vitamins and watch Rick and Morty. I did that last night until 3:00 in the morning. Freaked out. Could not sleep. That show freaked me out. So don't take any vitamins and watch Rick and Morty.
Really? It gave you a panic attack or what?
I couldn't. Number one, I was so entranced with the show. Like I've put it off for years. Everybody's like, "You'll love it. You'll love it." I'm like,
But do you still like the show or?
So I watched a couple episodes today, not on vitamins. I really enjoy the show. But here's the thing: if you don't pay close attention to what's actually going on, you don't know what reality you're in the show. Like they replace their characters with doppelgangers all the time.
Oh, you watched that episode, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that one was that's a unique episode in the series.
the other one was the one with the TV stations from across the universe.
Oh yes, that's.
Oh my god, I have never laughed so hard in my life. Anyways, hey, it's
EVP
Wednesday.
Joe, you guys watch Rick and Morty?
Yes,
No,
I actually do watch Rick and Morty. As a matter of fact, the same as JFB, I had some Rick and Morty on today too.
Yeah, it's
What a coincidence! That's cool.
it's a
All right, we don't want to alienate EVP Joe, so let's move on to
That's not
the main topic.
Yeah, I mean it's Wednesday, and there's this promotion called All Elite Wrestling. They put on a show every Wednesday, every Saturday, sometimes at the same time, sometimes at different times, and occasionally they have a pay-per-view. Tonight is the Dynamite after Dynasty. For those who watched the Dynasty after show, hey Noob, how you doing? There's a lot of questions that we need answers. And this should have been the show where things were answered. So we start off with a Jon Moxley promo. Backstage, apparently after Dynasty. And it wasn't, you know what? I'm gonna let everybody else go first. I'm gonna add mine last. So Canada Dry, the Jon Moxley Death Riders promo to open the show.
Yeah, I thought it was the typical Jon Mox promo, but also like I don't know it when you see the whole show, it fits.
It does.
But I liked it.
Yeah. All right. EVP Joe.
Yeah, I liked it. He addressed the Bucks.
Yeah.
Like it did everything that a promo right after Dynasty should have done.
Yeah.
He's still driving home this point of you all fail in the big moments. That's why you can't take the title from me.
Yeah.
And I love it because the freaking internet lost its mind on Sunday night because Moxley won. I know you did, JFB. But
JFB was going to boycott the show.
yeah,
Leave by my side.
I have issues.
But like,
Luna, what are your thoughts on the Moxley promo to open the show?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Solid stuff. They pretty much said everything that needed to be said. But I thought it was pretty good, yes.
JFB, what I was going to say was you love Swerve, but I don't think you love Swerve like I love Swerve.
Well,
No, you love Swerve. Like I love Swerve, but you love Swerve.
Yes, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yes. My issue with the
No, that's-
promo
Cool.
stems from my problem with this storyline. It doesn't seem to be going anywhere. I don't know. Luna lives in Tennessee. I live in Nashville. If you've ever been in an area where it's muddy, good luck. You ain't getting out. You might as well call a bunch of your friends to pull you out because you ain't going out. And
I've
that's
been
what-
stuck in the mud. I've
Yeah.
been mudding through the woods in Tennessee. Indeed.
Oh, I. And I feel like the storyline is just spinning wheels in mud. And Canada Dry brings up an interesting point. The reason and the purpose for opening the show with John Moxley is because it's going to tell a story throughout basically the entire show.
Mhm.
But my problem is just it just seems like this wasn't the optimal way to open the show. The opening match, which we'll talk about next, should have been what opened the show. I feel like we didn't add anything with the Moxley promo other than it kind of leads into the rest of the show. And sure enough, our first match is John Moxley. He is taking on the wrestler, Shibata.
Before you could go on, JP, I just have to interrupt you because sometimes people, they come in the comments.
Yeah.
And they want us to talk about things that are not related to what we're talking about.
Right.
And if we bite that, we're letting them control the show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to say this once. Well, I'll say it again next time, because it pisses me off. But we can't talk about things not related to what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely 100% agree.
I mean,
And I'm going to keep saying it
yeah.
until you guys get the message.
Now, if it's something that's out there and unique, maybe.
Maybe, but I'm not like, if
Yeah,
we're going on a flow, JP is saying something and they're like, hold on. King John wants to tell us that the Beatles are the best band ever. Like,
I mean, we always talk about how Wayne Gretzky is only one goal behind Ovechkin for the all-time scoring lead.
Exactly. I mean, if Gordie Howe can play until he was 60, why can't Wayne Gretzky play?
Wayne should make a comeback just to like, I'm taking it back.
Yeah.
Just get one or two goals, call it a day.
Yeah. You know.
He waits until Ovechkin retires.
Yeah. Ovechkin retires, then Gretzky comes out of retirement, scores a couple goals,
And
gets
then,
the record back, then retires.
and then Ovi comes back, unretires, scores a couple goals.
It's the same thing that he's doing. It's ridiculous.
That's
Okay,
what makes hockey awesome.
back on track, guys. Back to
So our
wrestling.
first match is Moxley and Shibata. I'm going to go with Canada Dry first. Canada Dry, your thoughts on the opening match?
I think it was a good match, and I like what they did here.
Yeah.
It set up a story
Yeah.
that we find later in the show,
Yeah.
and I thought the way they painted this was beautiful. The match was just good. It wasn't nothing special, but that's all it needed to be, and I liked it.
Yeah. Joe, your thoughts on the match?
This was a very New Japan-esque match, if you ask
Yeah.
me. I love Shibata. You all know I'm a Mox fan.
Yeah.
And Mox can really have a good match when he's motivated and when he has someone who is his equal in the ring.
Yeah.
If not possibly better than Moxley in the ring. But yeah, it's like you said, it's setting up. This is basically a reset show. It's right after Dynasty, setting up for Double or Nothing, maybe even a little All In. I don't know. I don't know how long they're going to be taking this, but I'm really looking forward to this whole story of the Ops and the Death Riders and Bucks and Kenny and Swerve. There's just so much to talk about. I'm excited.
I feel like Tony Khan has a deli counter ticket machine, and you can pull the ticket, and then when he's like, who can go against the Death Riders? $4.93, and the Ops are like, oh, that's us. We're $4.93. We'll take that and a pound of liverwurst. Like, I feel like that's how this is going. Luna, your thoughts on the match?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Nothing special, but an enjoyable match.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was a dream match.
No, I didn't. That Jerry guy did.
Oh, I thought you were going along with him though.
No.
mean-
I personally don't think it was a dream match for me personally. Probably his personal dream match, maybe. But
Why were you
I just
engaging
thought,
with me then? If you don't care about this.
I thought it was a cool match to see. Like I would have been like, you know what, that could have been a banger.
Yeah.
Just I just feel like it could have been a little bit better, I guess.
It was short. That's my problem. You didn't give it enough time to build
It
because
didn't feel important as it should
Okada's
be.
a great wrestler. Moxley's a great wrestler.
Mhm.
What happens afterwards is the reason why the match was so short. The Bucks come out. And then they say, hey, the reason why we did what we did was two reasons. One is for our friend Hangman Page, who didn't want to see Swerve win. And the second reason, I don't even remember the second reason.
It's because they basically wanted a peace offering to the Death Riders.
Yeah. And then out comes Omega. Probably the most uninterested I've ever seen Kenny Omega. It almost was like he didn't want to be there. And cuts a horrible promo where he stops and pauses, and the fans are like, what the hell's going on? And then he just wings it, and it falls flat. And then out comes Okada after Kenny Omega says, I'm going to fight you. Out comes Okada, and then we hear Swerve's music, and then we're like looking at the front, waiting for Swerve to come out, and all of a sudden the three guys, without even looking, just roll out of the ring like they have ESP or something. They just roll out of the ring, and then comes Swerve and then Pac comes in and attacks Swerve, and instead of just saying, let's start the match, we have to retain order, which means we have to go to a commercial break.
Which lets us find out what everyone thinks of this.
Stand to dry. Your thoughts, my friend.
So, where are we starting from there? From
Bucks, Omega, Okada.
the Bucks come in. Yeah, Bucks come in. Yeah. What I found interesting is they didn't really focus on Swerve very much there.
Yeah.
I found
That's
that
because for them, Swerve isn't anything.
yeah, I guess it's kind of and like, but the crowd, they were going bonkers.
Yeah.
For Swerve.
Yeah.
And he looked like he was gonna address it, but then he's like, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love this. I Kenny Omega, I don't know. He's still Kenny Omega, and he's still lovable as he's doing it all.
Yeah, but do you not think like he just phoned it in? Like it looked like he didn't want to be in Baltimore.
I don't think that was the case.
I don't know. I think he was trying to sell this character of disgusting, like being disgusted with the Bucks. Just don't think it translated well.
Yeah, that's
my absolute favorite thing.
I do admit it came off flat, but I kind of agree with Joe on that.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite thing about Kenny is basically he called the Bucks two Shih Tzus.
And then what was the other
you're
part?
looking as red as Matt's lapels. I
Yeah.
thought was pretty interesting too. as well.
Yeah. So pretty much he's making a polite way of saying, yeah, your spray tan sucks.
Yeah. That's
But yes, Swerve coming in and
yeah.
says, I'm going to go buck hunting.
Yeah.
The other thing, I guess we'll talk about that after. But yeah, Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, so I think the most interesting thing is to me it's still Hangman in this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like they legitimately missed something they could have done later on in the show. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
But for the Bucks to come out and say, I did it for the Hangman. That's my joke on The Rock. But yeah. I guess it's kind of weird because like they haven't been on the same page in forever.
Yeah.
Which to me screams Hangman is going to turn on the Bucks at some point.
Yeah.
Feel like that's what we're getting to.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Then we had so much happened. I can't keep track. Bucks came out.
Omega
came out. You already talked about Omega's
Okada.
promo.
And then Swerve
Then
came out.
Okada comes out, and then Swerve. Like, is it chaos? Yes. But the threads are there to set forward what this story is going to be.
Yeah.
I loved all those little 1, 2, 3 pieces there. To just the way they did that.
Like that, like everyone they brought out plus Hank, like that could be your main event picture for like the next year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Luna?
You know what? In a way, I think you both are correct. Because like somebody pointed out a very long time ago that Kenny Omega, like if you like read between the lines of what he's been saying on the mic and stuff like that recently, and they make a good point. There would be, I think it was Isaac that said that a while back ago. Anyway, but I also agree with Joe. And I agree with you wholeheartedly that the whole thing was just whack. No.
Like, I see where Joe's getting at when you're leading with threads and this and that, but it's got to be either us versus the world, or it's got to be something. Right now, it's just kind of a mishmash of all kinds of stuff.
I think it is because after I'm gonna skip ahead here if you don't mind, but after the match of Pac and Swerve is cutting a promo to the camera and basically says blood and guts is coming, which I think is what we're going to get to. And me and Canada Dry were talking about who could be on the teams.
Honestly, it's going to be possibly the Death Riders, or at least Moxley and the Elite. Swerve, maybe the Hurt Syndicate.
Well, I think Swerve, Omega, Hangman.
Yeah.
I think the Hurt Syndicate would be really cool.
I think it would be great.
But I don't know if Joe Bay made a good point earlier that he might be busy doing stuff with Mox.
Yeah. Ops.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
But I hope it's the versus the Elite and not this combined thing.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 people for the Elite. That's not enough for blood and guts.
Well, technically, there's 4. At some point, Jack Perry.
Why can Jack Perry be back?
Yeah.
Why hasn't he been on TV since he lost the title?
He's hanging out with Anna Jay. I would too.
Anna Jay's hasn't been around either.
Prioritize. Anna Jay, wrestling. Anna Jay.
Well, the nice thing is they can do both, right?
So after Pac attacks Swerve and we go to a commercial break, we come back and the match just starts. So what happened between? No idea. All they said was Pac viciously attacked Swerve. Well, anyways, you're right. Swerve gets the win. Cuts a great promo. Canada Dry, second match of the night, Swerve and Pac.
I thought this match served a really good purpose.
Yeah.
After Swerve was screwed out of the title, it's to show his dominance, and this was a short match, and he just showed his dominance over Pac, and his star continues to grow. And this crowd, they were big time Swerve fans.
Oh yeah. Swerve was eating out. Yeah, they were eating out Swerve's hand. Yeah. Joe, your thoughts on the second match?
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I enjoyed it. It definitely felt like it just ended out of nowhere. Very abrupt ending, but other than that, like it's Pac and it's a Swerve. They're two great competitors.
Yeah.
But I will say that the being in the Death Riders really hurts some of the lower members.
Like Pac?
Yeah, like Pac and Cesaro mainly.
I mean, if we were going to do a stock up, stock down, and I said Pac, stock down. I mean, let's face facts. He is one of the most underutilized wrestlers in wrestling today. I would rather see more Pac than Max Caster.
This match could have been like it was used in a way to elevate Swerve and actually devalued Pac a bit in this.
Yeah.
Because this could have been a banger.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't want it to be bangers.
Yeah.
They just want it to be
get
a message across.
It was just a match. I agree with you about Pac. He was like, he's just there. He's just some guy who's just there now. Like, I have seen so much better.
It's hard to be able to invest a lot in someone when he goes to England, and right now English and Americans have issues with visas.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
It is kind of hard to do that. And it sucks because I love Pac. I agree. I wish he was used more.
And that's kind of the same as what they do with Lance Archer.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. Pac is the Virgil of the Death Riders, like Virgil was for the NWO. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Does that mean he has one of the long things?
Means if you want him to sign anything, he's gonna cost you.
something meaty man was, what was it?
Yeah, something man meat or something.
Yeah. I don't remember what it was now. What was it, Joe?
Big sweaty men slapping meat.
Yeah.
No, we got something sweaty meat. Is that what it was?
I
think it was something slapping meat.
Oh, something slapping meat. That's what it was.
That's what it was. So we get a Monet recap from Dynasty. I don't think we really need to focus on it. Well, let's talk about Hangman Page and Renee in the back. For some reason, Renee has the ability to interview Hangman Page as he's walking into and past camera. I feel bad for Renee. If she gets paid per interview, she's not getting a hefty check because she can't get Hangman Page to stand still and give a promo. But anyways, Hangman Page just walks right by her. Fuck you, Renee. Goes to the locker room, opens the door. Where is he? He's looking for Swerve. First, Nana's there. Tells Nana to sit down. Nana sits like a good guy should, because let's face facts. Prince Nana cannot beat up Hangman Page. If Hangman Page was in a wheelchair or an iron lung, he still couldn't beat him. But he tells Nana, I didn't do it to help Swerve. And if he gets in my way, I'm going to end it. Canada Dry, your thoughts on Hangman Page promo?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
I think that's all I got to say about it.
All right. Joe.
Yeah, this was a good promo, but I do believe, I think it would have, to me, been more impactful if he would have said something to the effect of is like, look, I don't like Swerve, but I didn't ask the Bucks to do this. I think it adds a little bit of layer to the relationship of everyone involved.
Yeah.
But like, it was really weird too. Like at the end, like you think he's starting to turn a leaf, and when someone goes to apologize, it's like it's a hot spot, and he just freaking loses his mind again.
Yeah. Because he's Hangman Page. The guy's not right in the head. Luna.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff for sure. They pretty much said it all. I also liked it. Yeah.
All right. So we get an FTR. I'm sorry. We go to our third match. Apparently, Tony Khan just likes to give money away. Hey, Tony Khan, my name is James. I'll give you my Cash App. Send me some money.
Me too.
Please.
Yeah. All of us. Just
Yes,
send up $400,000.
I don't even need 100K. You give me like 50 G's and I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm not greedy.
I'm not greedy at all, man. But apparently, we get
Don't forget to mention that Penelope Cruz promo, because oh my goodness,
Penelope
they
Ford.
recover that because she's looking good.
You mean Penelope Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah.
What did I say?
Penelope Cruz.
What the hell's that?
Wasn't she?
Was that Tom Cruise's old wife?
Oh,
think
that's
so.
right.
It was just one of those brain things that goes on there, right?
Oh,
Another
God.
association.
We go to a $400,000 8-man tag match. We get Ricochet. We get the Crew. Oh,
Cruz.
And we get the Beast Mortis. And they're going to be taking on Ospreay, Speedball Mike Bailey, Mark Briscoe, and Kevin Knight. Canada Dry. Was that match worth $400,000?
I think Tony Khan's getting ripped off here. It was a fun match, but I think if Will Ospreay wasn't in it, I think actually their whole team was really good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't no $100,000. I don't know. It's so carny to do that too. It's a carny thing to do.
Yeah,
Everyone knows if you're gonna do that, at least like show a bag of money or something like they used to do with Bobby the Brain Heenan and the Big John Studd Slam thing, WrestleMania 1.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that was good.
All right. Joe.
Okay. First off, I want to say, I think this match happens at the perfect time in this show. It is a palate cleanser. It gets the crowd rejuvenated after all the serious stuff we deal with the main event scene.
Yeah.
But before I talk about this match, I got to talk about the promo that they cut. They are, because the four good guys are in, I guess what's supposed to be a sewer.
Yeah.
Mike Bailey has no shoes on.
Yeah.
And then Mark Briscoe says, "What are you guys going to do with your $100,000?" And Will Ospreay's like, "Disneyland" or Disney World or something like that.
Mike Bailey's like, "I want some shoes."
Shoes. I forget what Kevin Knight says. And then Will Ospreay jokingly says, "What are you going to do, Mark?" And Mark's like, "I'm going to diversify my portfolio." That's serious. Oh. But anyway, the match. I thought it was fun. I love the spot where all four of the good guys smack the shit out of bald-headed Ricochet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the internet went to work.
Up to the head hurt.
The internet went to work quick. I saw a meme already, and it was half the picture was that shot of Ricochet looking with all four of them, and then on top of it was the meme of the four black guys and the white girl on the couch. Oh.
Wow. Woo!
Yeah. I enjoyed the match. It was fun. I don't know why Mortos had to take the pin. That's my only complaint when you had a freaking Action Andretti right there that could have taken the pin.
That or Leo Rush. I mean, any of those two.
I think it's in his contract, must take pin.
Yeah.
Clearly. I like everyone. I don't like Action Andretti. I can't stand him. I think he's worthless.
Same here. Absolutely. That guy is.
I don't know. Worthless is pretty harsh. Come on.
I have cardboard boxes that are better than Action Andretti.
Dude, he's a Philly guy, and he can't even get cheered in his hometown of Philly.
Yeah.
But he's a heel.
It doesn't matter. Philly is weird. If you didn't know by those chants on Sunday night, they like the bad guys. Philly embraces being the
Oh,
evil.
so they can't even like cheer their own boy.
They weren't even cheering him.
They weren't even cheering him.
But didn't Australia do that to what's his name, Grayson Waller?
I don't know.
No.
I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know.
No, they gave Waller a huge ovation.
No, he got kind of booed.
No, he got booed throughout the match. When he first got introduced,
Yeah. But then they stuck it to him.
yeah, then they were like, wow, he really does suck.
You ain't getting all boy, mate.
I will say, I don't know how it came across on TV, but
Yeah.
freaking that crowd was loud as hell for Yuta.
Yeah, it
They
was.
hated Yuta with a passion.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Luna, what did you thought of the match?
I absolutely love this match. This match was fun as hell. And really, Action Andretti's entertaining to me anyway. He's a pretty fun.
I thought you were gonna get all lustful for him. I thought you had this lustful look on your face.
No,
Here's my
Canada.
thing. Action Andretti, like a year and a half ago, pinned Chris Jericho clean.
No. Chris Jericho let Action Andretti get over.
Exactly.
huge
And
difference.
then he fell flat on his face and nothing came of it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Sucks.
It seems like Chris Jericho came up with this idea, and Tony Khan's like, okay, yeah. It's like, it's Chris's idea, and he has no power to keep it going. So,
Yeah.
Look, like I said, if you get booed in your hometown, you're worthless.
Yeah. I went to a local wrestling match, okay, a few months ago, where the main event was two guys who looked like they were plucked out of a buffet and thrown in the middle of the ring. And they were more entertaining than Action Andretti.
quite honestly, Action Andretti and Leo Rush should be on Ring of Honor.
No, they should be out of wrestling. They
I
should
think that's a little harsh.
Oh my gosh.
That's harsh.
I'm
I'm
a
just
Leo
saying.
Rush fan, so
They're horrible.
Come on, people are trying to earn a career. You're trying to make them
You
go.
can earn a career in MLW. Alex Hammerstone left millions of dollars on the table to go back to MLW because Alex Hammerstone,
Did he re-sign with them?
yeah, he
That's
has
it,
the
eh?
look, but that guy is not a great wrestler. He's just not. He's got a great look. He cuts great promos. But
Oh,
that guy is not a great wrestler.
so you
He's
don't.
pretty
So,
solid,
so he's like a less Cage.
Very much, yeah. I mean, he's not. I mean, it would be cool to see Alex Hammerstone back up MJF, but in all honesty, the minute you put Alex Hammerstone on a large stage, his issues and negativities are glaring, like huge. And then you wonder to yourself, why did Tony Khan spend so much?
I think he would only be good as MJF's bodyguard.
Yeah.
That would be cool, but he's not going to go any further.
Yeah. Anyways, we get an FTR and Cope replay. And we find out on Saturday, FTR is going to be on, and they're going to talk about why they turned on Sexton Hardcastle. Ooh, I can't wait.
it's going to be the generic. We
Yeah.
lost.
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
Yeah. Okay, I can't wait to hear the bullshit that's going to come out of FTR's mouth to convince me that they are good heels right now.
However, I do think. Well, it probably won't happen, but I would love to see FTR take out Shivani after the comments he made on the show tonight.
Yes, like you can't talk about the guy's kid.
Can I just say one thing? Did Tony Schiavone look like he was on his third divorce and about 4 bottles into a case?
He
of Jack
did.
Daniels?
There was something off with him tonight.
He was rough looking. Holy cow!
He
I
did.
don't-
I just realized, speaking of third divorce,
Yeah,
Ric Flair said
Yeah.
he can't be at WrestleMania because he's still under contract to AEW.
bullshit. I
That's
don't
what he
believe-
said.
I believe I don't. You know what? I would trust a shady Nigerian at a used auto place.
Who's a prince?
Ever would Ric Flair?
You think he's lying? He's lying about having a contract?
Absolutely.
But he's eliminating his chance to go to WWE. He's like,
They don't want him there. That's the problem. Triple H loves him, and Triple H says he owes his career to Ric Flair. But Triple H answers to a whole bunch of guys who don't like Ric Flair.
Triple H isn't the end-all be-all anymore.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's an octogenarian, still wrestling. He wants to wrestle one more match. I
feel if John Cena did that and Ric Flair was there, it would take away from it.
He's outside of his mind, Ric Flair.
He is. I mean,
Want him to wrestle again?
Like, he wants one more match. I can't think of a single person in the world that wants to wrestle Ric Flair.
I do. I can.
Those look bad.
I can.
Oh,
I'll do it.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, I'll do it. JFP will jump in the ring.
You brought Rick up in his ridiculous statements.
I'm gonna Falcon punch that guy until next week.
What's the Falcon punch?
Did you hear what he said about Cena and Cody?
What?
Basically said they're not the best wrestlers, or they're not the story of WrestleMania that Charlotte is. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why you don't want him there.
I mean, seriously, if Ric Flair called me today and said, "Hey, James, do you want to hang out for an hour, drink a few beers, and just talk?" I'd be like, "No, I'm busy. Sorry, bye." Click. Like, I don't want it. He is not in the universe of professional wrestling. And the fact is, the guy is lingering onto his legacy because that guy owes money to everyone. I mean, the IRS, small business, you name it.
Rumor is Helen lent Ric Flair some money, and he owes Helen money.
Yeah, Helen's pissed. She gave him $5,000, and Ric Flair said, "I'll pay you today for a hamburger. I'll pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today for $5,000." She gave him the hamburger, still hasn't been paid.
And it's one of those things where he's like, "I'll give you an extra 1,000 at the end."
Yeah,
just to
she's
sweet Helen's dreams here.
Yeah, she's actually thinking about releasing Shane to go attack Ric Flair like a capuchin monkey.
Showtime Shane.
I'm just saying.
Just going to release Showtime Shane on him.
Showtime Shane. I mean, that guy's gonna come at her that guy's gonna come at Ric Flair like a spider monkey.
Here's the truth. Ric Flair's the only person that can unite Showtime Shane and El Showtime.
I would love for a table of three, and it's El Showtime, Showtime Shane, and Ric Flair. And
Showtime's not even watching, and we're talking about it.
They're not eating. They're drinking, and they're drinking hard. And the bullshit that comes out of their mouths would be gold.
I heard that
it would be insane. That's what it would be.
Luna here, she used to have a crush on Showtime Shane.
I would rather see that than WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2.
She's getting me the most evil look.
Oh my God, let's get her back on track.
You're crazy.
I am.
Go away, Canada. That is not true at all.
It was a joke.
I know.
You know it's not a joke? The Hurt Syndicate. When they come out to the ring.
Nice little segue there.
And they celebrate. And they're interrupted by MJF. And MJF says, "Guys, vote me in." And so MVP says, "All right, we're going to take a vote. Takes 3. You know me, I'm up." Automatically, Bobby says no. Shelton goes, no. And they leave. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
I really like this. MJF, he gets into the ring like he's part of the group. He's like, yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so goofy.
That's one of the
and
goals.
lovable sometimes.
You're welcome.
He's just so goofy and lovable sometimes. And that and the crowd's like, he's our scumbag.
Yeah.
Oh man, I enjoyed this a lot. And I love the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
They're becoming like one of the hottest things in AFW.
Yeah.
Or AEW, sorry. That's us. We're AFW.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm really liking where this ride is going. I didn't think I'd like MJF like interact with him, but I kind of enjoying the ride.
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah, I love this segment. It was great. MJF just has this charisma about him that and it can't really be replicated by anyone else. He just has the timing and the facials and everything. Like, you can tell he studies tape.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, this is a guy who's plied his trade for a lot of years. And I guarantee you, he stands in the mirror and he works on his promos each and every time. I can tell you from my personal experience, what you get on Facebook, that's an hour's worth of recording. And it's like, I don't like that. Click, delete, record. Like,
wait, are you standing in front of the mirror doing your promos, JP?
I do. I actually, surprisingly enough, if I know I want to cut a promo, but I'm not sure where to go with it, I take a shower. For some reason, ever since I started in film, when I've come across a point where I'm stuck in a story, I'm stuck on an edit, no matter what the time of day is, I get in the shower, I take a good 15, 20-minute shower, I come out, and boom, it hits me. And it's just like divine intervention.
Now, if you guys don't know, we have a prediction league that we run.
Yeah.
And we do promos.
Yeah.
And they're a lot of fun. And you'll see in the notes down below, you can join the AFW league.
It's
You can look it on the website.
But MJF takes pride in his promos. Not everyone hits. I mean, we've agreed there have been crappy promos from MJF.
But even his crappy ones are still good.
Yeah. He really knows the art of the psychology of cutting a promo. I think that's what differentiates MJF from everybody else. I like Roman Reigns right now cuts great promos. And I guarantee you a lot of it has to do with Paul Heyman.
Oh,
MJF, doesn't have that soundboard. So I guarantee you, like if you watch his evolution on YouTube, his promos get better and better and better. As his character develops, his promos get better. That's the key. The minute his character suffers, his promo suffers. Joe, your thoughts on
So other than that, I do want to talk about how impressive it was that Shelton was able to keep his bearing and not crack.
Yeah.
Because you could see him almost laughing at MJF standing there.
He almost broke. Yeah.
Yeah, he almost.
Yeah.
So I love the guys. Like I'm so glad that the Hurt Syndicate, the Hurt Business is finally getting a proper chance to do what they wanted, what they should have done in WWE.
Yeah. My hope is that Tony Khan understands what makes the Hurt Syndicate special, and he starts getting tag teams to challenge them that are going to give them a run for the money. Nothing against Big Bill and Brian Keith. Decent wrestlers, but not the kind of guys that have a snowball chance in hell of beating the Hurt Syndicate. Now, Murder Machines, absolutely. They have a legitimate chance. They're big, they're beefy, they're just as strong and just as powerful. The only disadvantage they have is Shelton Benjamin is a great technical wrestler. That's their only downfall. Luna, your thoughts?
I thought it was pretty good, and I also giggled.
Yeah.
And I giggled at also at Bobby Lashley's facial expression.
That man was
It's hilarious.
so
Looks
pissed
like
off.
the dad from Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
looks like Terry
He's
Crews.
like, I am not impressed.
Like the like the I don't give a shit look. That's the look. Like if you want to, somebody says you something and you're just like, I don't give a shit. Don't type that. Just send that picture of Bobby Lashley.
Right.
You can see that Bobby Lashley can't cut a promo, but I think he did well here tonight.
I don't think he did I think he did good. I don't think he did that great.
No, I didn't think amazing, but he
That's all
carried his weight.
He's good. All he needs to do is just 1 or 2 lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have MVP there to do the heavy lifting, which is who should be.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Well, we'll go into the back with Renee. She's with Megan Bain and Penelope Ford, not Lopez or Cruz. Penelope Cruz is an actress. A very beautiful actress. If you get a chance, Google Penelope.
But not as beautiful as Penelope Ford.
Yes.
That top that Penelope Ford was wearing tonight.
I had to take a double take and make sure she's actually wearing something.
Yeah.
Blended in perfectly.
Talk about taking attention away from Megan Bain.
Good thing, because Megan Bain we know Megan Bain can't cut a promo. She's very green. She's only been around for a couple of years. She got to cut in Stardom. They don't do a lot of promos in Stardom. I think she did all right. I think Penelope Cruz being her talking point.
Penelope Cruz,
You did it.
Yeah.
You got a Penelope Cruz.
Again.
Oh, sorry, Penelope Ford.
The brain, like Penelope Cruz is in our brain. She burrowed in there.
I mean, I would prefer to see Penelope Cruz over Penelope Ford. I like Penelope Cruz. She is.
I love Penelope Ford.
But Penelope Ford
after tonight.
Yeah, she did a great job being her soundboard.
Yeah, like I think that she killed it. Like, and I like this for Ford because it elevates her.
Yeah.
To be like, not obviously that she's not as good as, but she's kind of like Paul Heyman for Megan Bain.
She's not the near future. She's a distant future. Great. You know, she needs polishing. She needs a little work. She needs to get she needs to get a couple of really big wins. That's her problem. I think her look, I think her promo delivery, I think her wrestling acumen is really good. Way better than it was 2 years ago. She needs real opponents to beat. And that's, I think, what.
Yeah, you need to book her like she's a good wrestler.
Yeah. Like, let her beat Statlander. Let her beat Willow. Like, get some decent mid-card names so that way when she does challenge Monet or she does challenge Timeless Tony Storm, there's a legitimate chance she wins. I think.
You'd have to build her a lot to get her to get going.
And that's what I'm saying. She's not a near chance. She's not a near contender. Not even
honestly. If they're going to keep Penelope and Megan Bain together for a while, I'd almost be down for them to introduce women's tag titles and let them be the first champs and let them.
That would be I don't think you have a big enough roster, but.
I mean, in all honesty, do you need 2 more belts?
I don't, but
on the verge of the possibility of combining the Continental and the International Championship, you don't need a women's tag belt. 1, because you don't have a strong women's division, and 2, you don't have a strong women's tag division.
That's right. I didn't say introduce them tomorrow, JFB.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you already have the design made.
No, I'm not.
He's already in my DMs. Can you make the belt?
We all know I don't do designs. I just make matches. Canva drives the designer.
Yeah, like he's like, hey, listen, give me your access to Canva. I'm going to design myself the AEW women's tag belts. Like, no, we don't need it. We just don't. I mean, if you want mass belts, if you want a belt like, hey, guess what? I showed up to work today. Here's a belt. Go to WWE because those guys give away belts like Oprah. Okay? When you're in a real wrestling promotion like NWA, TNA at some point, AEW, MLW, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. These guys have a couple belts.
Speaking of the unification of the talk and the rumors is they're going to unify,
Yeah,
or at least have a winner takes both belts match.
right.
Do you keep the two belts, or do you unify into something brand
Nope.
new? Because
What you do is you go in the back, you put it in a huge fire, melt it. You create this new form. You mold it out, and that's your new belt. That's what happens. And you can't call it the Intercontinental belt because, by God, TKO's.
if you merge that, you could almost have like a near second world title.
I mean, if you put the dash in between, you could get away with it. Then it's not the same.
I don't know.
I say
I really love the international look of that international title, though.
I do too. I don't like the Continental title. I think it's.
No, I don't like. I like the international title so much better.
It looks like the Intercontinental. It looks like the Continental title was Tony Khan called up this guy on Craigslist and said, "Hey, can you make me a belt?" And the guy's like, "How soon do you need it?" He goes, "In 1 week." He goes, "You know what? By God, I'm going to go ahead and give him my college try." And Tony Khan was like, "We don't have time to get a new belt. We're just going to use this one." Like it's amateurish. I don't like it at all. Anyways, so we go to our fourth match.
Yes.
Thunder Rosa. She's teaming up. She's taking on Chris Statlander. This is an Owen Hart tournament contest. Timeless Tony Storm is on commentary. Now the match itself, it was okay. I didn't think it lit the world on fire. You know, Statlander gets the win, which I think if we were predicting, of course, that would have just made sense. I don't think Thunder Rosa is in any position to start making a run. But Timeless Tony Storm on commentary, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it one more time. If Tony Storm is not wrestling, Tony Storm needs to be on commentary.
Yeah.
I don't care how many matches she's on there. Put her on with JR. I would love to hear the banter between a guy who is slipping in and out of dementia and a woman who thinks she's someone else, and watch them converse. It's hilarious. Like, her and Shivani are funny. Her and JR would be hilarious. I would pay $1 million to see it. Get to draw your thoughts on the match.
I thought it was a good match. I don't think every match needs to be a banger.
Yeah.
Like, you just had a pay-per-view. You need to kind of simmer people back down to reality.
Yeah.
So if you start throwing bangers in there all the time, people are like, "Oh, we're getting it for free. Why did we need to bother pay for you?"
Yeah.
So I don't mind this match being like, not everything needs to go balls to the wall with every match. I think it shows what they think of Statlander to put her over Storm.
Yeah.
And sorry, not Storm, Thunder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a good match. So for the flower shop today, we will be discussing our favorite 80s sitcom.
Ooh. 80s sitcom. This is going to be a good one. Joe,
Goodness.
what are your thoughts?
Before we get to the match, I want to talk about how Tony Storm walks up to the left side of the announcer's table. Her seat is on the right. So instead of walking around like a normal human being, she crawls across the commentary desk. Just sitting there, knocking everything over. The guys are all just like, what the hell is going on? And Shivani, who's in classic form, is like, your seat's right here. Like, he's just like, he must have embodied JR tonight or something. I don't know what was wrong with him. But,
I mean, he had a good podcast. His last podcast was a great podcast. I don't know what bee flew up his butt and stung him, but He was not in a good mood today.
I mean, and I missed most of the match because my dog decided to start barking her head off because she had to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad that Chris won.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't have Thunder. I don't want to see Thunder Rosa. I'd much rather have Chris move on than.
I mean, even if she doesn't make it to the next round, the fact that she's got another match in this tournament means something for Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
I think right now,
Like, we're potentially getting Chris versus Jamie Hayter
yeah,
in the next round.
like right now we're getting Statlander's in space. She's just kind of floating around. There's no movement. She's just there.
She's
floating.
already done the alien gimmick. She's not doing that no more, JP.
Well, she's in a stasis. If you
Yeah,
will.
she's in a holding pattern. Is probably
Yeah.
a better.
Yeah, she's a plane circling around, hoping that they have enough fuel to keep circling around until they can land. At some point, Tony Khan needs to pull the trigger. You need to either make Statlander a legit world champion or cut bait. I mean, you can't make her keep going after the TBS title. Who cares? She is.
I think you're right. I think Statlander would be a fine AEW World Champion.
If anybody's going to give Timeless Tony Storm an actual run for her money, win or lose, it's going to be Chris Statlander. It's not going to be Megan Bain. It's not going to be Mira Shirakawa, who has signed her contract.
How cool would be if it's not going to happen, but if Statlander won the whole thing
It would be amazing.
I'd be down for that.
and then won at All In.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You know what's crazy is this women's Owen tournament is what I wanted the men's tournament to be. Because with the women, there's not one clear-cut favorite winner. Like how I feel with the men, I feel like it's foregone conclusion to me that it's Ospreay. There should be no one else but Ospreay who wins this tournament.
Yeah, we don't know as much.
Where with the women, you have Chris Statlander, you have Mercedes Moné,
Athena.
Jamie Hayter, and Athena.
Yeah. You.
Easily, you can book any of them as the winner.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I've even made the pitch to where you have Billy Starks win the whole thing.
Yeah. At this point, the only thing you can do is put every picture on a dartboard, put a blindfold on,
I play
Well,
bingo ball booking.
and wherever it sticks, that's who you go with.
Yeah, that's bingo ball booking, right?
Yeah, it's bingo ball booking. You can't go wrong with any of these women to take on Timeless Tony Storm. I think Statlander has an advantage because Statlander has the size and the strength to compete with Tony Storm.
I would love Statlander as the AEW World Champion.
I would too. I don't know if they're going to, but I would love it.
I think the fans would go bonkers for her as the champion.
Yeah. Luna, what do you think?
It was an okay match. It was pretty good. Yeah, Chris Statlander. I agree with you guys about Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely would be a good Owen winner for sure.
So we go backstage.
Hold on. Can we bring up one more thing real quick before we go?
Right ahead.
Can we talk about how next week they're in Boston, and I'm willing to bet that Mercedes and Athena is going to main event that show. But
Absolutely.
more importantly, we need to have a celebration next week because it'll be AEW will have lasted longer than WCW Nitro. So suck on that, Eric Bischoff.
Yeah. Mister, I'm not going to be involved in wrestling anymore. Anyways.
Do you think they're going to invite Eric Bischoff?
Nah.
I would be petty as fucking do it.
That'd be funny. If we sent him an invitation, you
know what I would do?
until the camera's driving up to his door, dropping it off.
You know what I do? I would send him an invitation, and when he says no, I'd still have a chair with his name on it.
Nah.
You wonder why your name is Evil Joe.
Unfurl a banner that has Eric Bischoff's name and number of shows he did, and then unfurl a banner of TK.
On top of it.
with with the number above Eric Bischoff. That's how you do it. It's called
Yeah,
salary
it says
cap.
TK. It doesn't say EAW or WCW.
Yeah. So let's talk Don Callis. You know what? Before it happened later in the show, but this is now the third show where we've had a Don Callis impersonator.
That is crazy.
I don't know if there's a Reddit board, is there a Facebook group. I want to join in. I will dress up as Don Callis and go to a show. And I have the makeup to do.
Oh my God, yes.
Don't you have to shave?
I'll shave.
It
Oh,
would be wild.
I have had this goatee for probably 24 years. I shave it off if I can look like Don Callis, if I can dress up like Don Callis.
You got to get those glasses and you're a made man.
I know exactly where to get them. $5. You don't have to pay a lot to look like Don Callis, my friend.
That's funny.
But he has Fletcher. He's got Takeshita. He's talking about how this could be an all-family affair final. He hypes up Fletcher. He hypes up Takeshita. Anybody want to add anything to this?
Well, he says we're looking for new members
Yeah.
for the Don Callis family because all the other Don Callis families are injured.
Yep.
So they're looking for replacements.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Who could it be?
I mean, I can point out Winnipeg on a map. If the name Winnipeg is on the map, I can point to it. So, Don Callis, if you're looking for a guy who really has nothing to lose, is willing to risk his neck to help out Kyle Fletcher and Takeshita succeed, call me. I'm good with a bat. I'm okay with a ladder.
so
I'm
are
an expert.
you saying you'll be Matt Murdock to Kingpin and take a bullet for him?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm good with a mulcher. How many people can say that? Give me a call, Don Callis.
I don't know anybody that can say that except for JFB.
There you go. I am a craftsman of a mulcher. I can mulch anything. You got a cow that you don't like? Put it through the mulcher. Next door neighbor giving you a problem? Mulcher. I mean, it's a multitude. It's trees, concrete.
I feel like you're summoning your inner Rich Southwood right now.
I have my own murder kit, but it's like 5,000 times more expensive. Mulchers are not cheap.
Oh yeah.
A good mulcher is going to cost
You almost have to like do some real landscaping on the side just to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't just mulch people. Like
That's not going to put the food on the table.
Yeah, I mean,
But I think we've talked a lot about mulching, and we need to move on.
let's talk about the Cole promo. I got one question. We're talking about the Undisputed Kingdom, and we only see Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roger Strong. Where is Matt Taven and Mike Kanellis? Where
And Wardlow.
And Wardlow.
Wardlow's still officially a member.
Where are they? Are they in like some kind of like multiverse where they're on a parallel?
I think one of them got injured, didn't they?
Yeah, they're in the multiverse called ROH.
Yeah, just like acknowledge that they exist.
I thought they were injured. They're in ROH.
They were in ROH. Maybe one of them got injured. I'm not sure.
I thought that's why they strict to the. I think that's why Kyle had to come.
Get it? Kanellis lost. His wife is no longer at AEW, but my God, dude, you got a job. Like I'm sure you're getting paid. You're not doing house shows. Where in the fuck are you? Like I want to get a milk carton and put their picture on it. It says, "Have you seen these people?" That's what I'm saying. Canada Dry, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was just this. I don't think there's much to say about it. It's just a nice little promo with him with the title. He's the face of TNT. Bada bang, bada boom.
Joe.
Speaking of teams that could go up against the Hurt Syndicate, I wouldn't mind watching O'Reilly and Strong be a team that gets built up to go after the tag titles.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be a great match.
They were
I
kind of
think it
tagging, weren't they?
I think it would be a great match if you build it. And
No, that's what I'm saying. You got to build up. I said this before. I don't want no more of this random team coming out on the stage and MVP saying, "Go win a match and you can have a title shot." No.
Yeah, that's getting lame.
Yeah. I don't think that O'Reilly and Roderick Strong can beat the Hurt Syndicate. I think
but I think they could give them a good match.
they give them a great match, and that's a pay-per-view match. Maybe a double or nothing or all in. Like if we can build it the right way, those are your two big pay-per-views. Knock them out there. So, Luna, what are your thoughts?
I was away. What are we talking about?
Cole promo.
Oh, it is what it was.
It was not a great segment. Like it was just
It wasn't bad either. It was just
It wasn't bad. It was just a segment.
yeah, it was like we got a few minutes to kill. Let's go to Adam Cole.
Yeah.
So we get the introduction to the learning tree. Out comes Chris Jericho. Talks about how he's no longer the Nueve. He lost the Ring of Honor title. He calls out Big Bill and Brian Keith. They come out. We have this crazy exchange where Bill's like, if you're going to sit there and demean me, I'm leaving. And Chris Jericho said, I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. And then Chris Jericho decides to destroy the learning tree set, specifically the poor, innocent Tron. Now, what this Tron or this television ever did to Chris Jericho, I don't know.
All I know is this isn't the first TV Jericho's destroyed.
No, and it won't be the last. I have a feeling this guy has an extended warranty and he's going to bash a lot of TVs. And he talks about leaving, which I think in reality plays to the rumor that has been circulating around that Chris Jericho will return to WWE. Triple H has mentioned it. Several people have mentioned they would love to have Chris Jericho to come back. I think this kind of flames that controversy and that question is Chris Jericho leaving?
I think that's a sort of a troll thing he's doing there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm 50-50 on this. I don't.
He's still got time on his contract, so it's not like
I don't think that Jericho as a character and a wrestler has a place in AEW. I feel like he's on an island of misfits where there's just nothing surrounding him. And I think that
I think they're JB. I think you're pissing all over this amazing segment here.
No,
this
it was
freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And like the possibility for Jericho to go on this whole new character spin.
Yeah.
Of like the crazy.
Yeah. And I like it.
Crazy veteran wrestler.
Yeah, because later on, as he's walking to the car, he starts bashing stuff. And then he walks into the car and the car takes off. Joe, what are your thoughts on Jericho?
I've said this before. The thing that made Jericho so great in WWE is he would periodically go away and allow us to miss him. He's been nonstop full-time in AEW for 5 years now.
Yeah.
He needs this time off, even if it's just like a month.
Oh, it's going to be long because he's got a world tour.
Oh, either way, just hopefully he comes back with a new character, new gimmick. That's what's always made him so great. His longevity is the fact that he can just reinvent himself with ease.
Yeah.
Yes, but what did you think of the segment?
Oh, I love this segment. I love when, like, that's like the best saying in the world. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. That just hits so differently. Like, especially if you have kids or if your parents ever said that to you, it just makes you feel a certain way.
It sinks your heart.
Yeah.
What I like of what Jericho did here, he's like, they're all mad at him, and he's like eases them down just to take them right back where he shoved the bat in his face again after he smashed and went on this tirade.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like cult leader-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Something that a cult leader would do when someone comes into question.
I think if you give Jericho time off, especially with his world tour, because let's face facts, this guy's not 30 years old. He's in his 50s. I toured a year and a half with the Dropkick Murphys. It took me 6 months to recover.
I love the Dropkick Murphys.
Like, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go visit friends. I just laid on the couch or I slept because my liver needed to be detoxed like Thursday tomorrow. Because
I can imagine.
You will learn from an Irish punk band. Nowadays, not so much. And I've known these guys for years. But
that is so cool. Oh my gosh.
You're now Tiff's hero.
That's rad.
The young times when I would go watch these guys play in front of 15, 20 people, I mean, they would owe more money to the bar than they would have made from their show. Like, these
Holy
guys,
crap. Jebby, I just realized who Tiff looks like.
Who?
She looks like China.
A little bit, yeah.
Yes, she totally has China's face.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
China!
Let's go to Caster. We got a Bowens recap. Kind of reintroducing Bowens, which I think is fantastic. They start with Caster, move to Bowens. We get the announcement Bowens is wrestling on Saturday. I don't know if he's going to cut a promo. I really, to be honest with you, like, there's no reason to. He's come out publicly, talked about how he has saved Max Caster's ass multiple times, saving him lots of money and his job. So I think he doesn't need to go any further than what he's posted on social media. So, like, you know, I mean, it was a video recap. I think we can move on. Let's move on to our next one.
So, are you available for the show on Sunday?
Me?
No, Joe.
Should be.
Because I got an idea.
Oh.
You know, WrestleMania is coming around the corner, brother. You know, Canada Dry wants to get in the main event. No, I think we should do the top 25 best WrestleMania matches of all time on the podcast this Sunday on the All After Wrestling show.
That's a lot of wrestling. That's a lot of matches. I know what my number one is. I don't even need to give it a second thought. I already know what my
don't be spoiling it.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it with the exception of this. The greatest WrestleMania match of all time. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
It's a hot take. Some of you will agree. Some of you will disagree.
Very subjective there, JFB.
Yeah.
We'll be giving you the DMs trying to sort out these top 25.
Yeah, the ones who reject it are dead to me. And the ones who celebrate my pick will follow me into the golden gates of shenanigans heaven, where we will have a shenanigans abound. Anyways.
JJB, all I got to say to you is this. Blessed be the drink.
Blessed be the drink.
Yes, he's drinking it.
Oh, best drink I've ever had.
You know, since you've been drinking the blessed drink,
Yeah.
church drink, I've seen you lost a lot of weight.
I have.
Me too. Like, it's amazing what this stuff does.
I mean, we can't tell you where it comes from or what ingredients it has because, let's be honest, we're in a police state. The last thing we want to do is start revealing exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Without this drink, there is no AFW.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sketchy.
Nah, you say that now.
Frank, what did I tell you, Tiff, about talking shit about the drink? That'll get you in the dungeon.
By the way, did you know that Natalia Hart and Jason Kidd run the dungeon now?
Isn't that called like the Dungeon 2.0 or something like
Yeah,
that?
it's Dungeon
Yeah, that's really
2.0.
cool.
Which, to be honest with you, if you were
I thought it was Brett's sons.
no,
They run the promotion, the dungeon.
they may run.
No, it's like a little training school that he has.
Yeah.
Oh, it's their own. Okay, because
If
they do
you're
have
gonna-
that promotion in Calgary called the dungeon. run
If
by
you're
Brett's
going to
son.
commit to going to a wrestling school, the first one I would suggest would be FTW. The wrestlers that are there are wrestlers who have wrestled for major promotions. Natalia Markova, Brian Idol.
They hired another big name wrestler. I forget who it was, but
Yeah.
the third.
Like, there's some great opportunity to learn wrestling. The other one would be to go to the dungeon, and not so much for Natalia, but for Jason Kidd, because
Tyson kid.
Tyson Kidd.
His name is TJ.
This kid knows more about the sport and psychology of a match and a wrestling gimmick and a character than I have. He's got more on his pinky than I do in my entire body. Like, this guy.
Tyson kid never got that chance
No.
to really run like with his full capability.
It's just a freak accident that happened, and it sucks.
He was phenomenal. Tyson Kidd was a phenomenal wrestler.
He was in a tag team with Cesaro at one point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that was a fun tag team.
he never got to wrestle like he did in NXT on the main roster.
So let's
Sorry.
go to the Her Syndicate. They're in the back with it's the Her Syndicate. What's her name? I don't remember her name.
Alicia Atut,
Okay, that's MJF's girlfriend, correct?
his real life girlfriend. Yes.
Yeah. They're talking, they walk away. MJF comes in, talks about being respect. He slaps her on the ass as she's walking by, which made me wonder they have to be in a relationship, because in no way, shape, or form
Is
are
that
you
okay?
going to do that on live television and not get your ass fired and sued within hours. So I don't necessarily. I'm going to voice my opinion. We'll go around the horn. I don't believe that this needed to happen. I feel like this is a segment that could have been done Saturday, next week.
Are you talking about the segment where he sends an MJF to please them or whatever?
Yeah, like MJF comes and interrupts, and it's just him and MVP, and they're talking. Like, to me, I feel like that segment just kind of was just like placed. Like
I don't know, Jimmy. It furthers the story, and that's all we got to do. It doesn't really matter where. It didn't hurt the show.
Yeah, it didn't help the show.
No, it didn't hurt either.
Yeah. Well, let's go to Joe. Joe, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was another segment, just a little progression in the storyline of MJF trying to get approval, which clearly is going to end up with MJF turning on all of these guys.
Of course.
But yeah, I really like the little thing there. Like MVP, it's about economics.
Yeah.
Go do something for them that they want you to have done.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay.
MVP plays checkers while the rest of us play dice. What makes MVP more dangerous is he's got Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin by his side. Now, I'm not saying that down the road we're going to get a split, but I don't want it to happen anytime soon. I want it to happen gradually. And
If anything, they're getting bigger with Cedric Alexander.
I think Cedric adding to it would be quite interesting. In fact, when the door knocked, my expectation was it was going to be Cedric Alexander. It wasn't going to be MJF.
Speaking
I don't
of,
think he's ready yet.
speaking of, well, no, he's not. But did you see his tweet from earlier today?
Mm-mm.
He's talking to whoever he has an indie match with, and he said something. But basically, at the end, he says, "I'm going to make this hurt," with a hurt in all caps.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see him Luna, your thoughts?
It was just they already filled in everything that needed to be said about this. It was just a segment that progressed the storyline.
My question, though, is if Cedric Alexander comes, does this mean the beef between Big Swole and Tony Khan is over?
I don't think that matters. I think Tony Khan is smart enough to be able to put personal and professional aside, and also realize that he's not the one who did anything. It's Big Swole, not Cedric Alexander.
No, but like, if your husband's the one working for that company, bringing home the bacon, how can you beef with him? Right?
I mean, logically, yeah, but we don't live in illogical times.
That is true.
No.
Pigs fly these days, right?
We are in such an alternative universe. I'm actually waiting for my phone's 5G to start growing me antlers. Maybe it'll help with my reception. Let's go to our main event. We have a tag match. It's going to be Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. They're going to be taking on Hook and Joe. The match kind of matriculates the way you think it's going to matriculate. Basically, all four guys pulled off all their power moves and just beat the living hell out of each other. Moxley decides to come into the ring. Shibata shows up. Next thing we know, we have the menage a trois of chokeouts. Wheeler Yuta being the only legal man in the ring, along with Hook, taps out. There's some delayed shenanigans that feel.
Well, you have Joe and Hook celebrating, and then Marina Shafir comes in with a chair and takes them out.
Yeah. You have the rest of what happens is Mox comes out. They Claudio does the Gotch pile driver on Hook on a chair. Then we get Joe. Joe comes in with his microphone and talks about trying to go the Death Riders back out to the arena. Obviously, they're not going to come. So Joe looks right at the camera, and despite the fact that he spits on the camera, Joe says it's official. The Ops are going for the Trios Championship. Here's my take. I don't like Hook. I think Hook is a Nepo wrestler. If Hook wasn't Taz's son, Hook wouldn't be able to outsell a 5-seat arena. That is how bad Hook is. putting him in a position with Joe and Shibata helps because you can now gloss over the horrible issues that exist within Hook while he trains. Because if you're going to put Hook with anybody, it's not going to be Taz. Taz is not running ropes and taking bumps. Neither is Johnny Rods. But you can learn at the feet of Samoa Joe and Katsurari Shibata. That's like going to Harvard and Albert Einstein starts teaching you every class you're enrolled for. Economics, Albert Einstein. Theoretic physics, Albert Einstein. Basket weaving, Albert Einstein.
Let me tell you this, JP. I love this match.
Okay.
This is probably my favorite Hook match.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought everyone brought something to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta wonder, is Mox gonna lose it on the rest of the Death Riders? Because they seem to all be losing.
Yeah.
Is he just gonna freak out?
Yeah.
And that's what I want from him. I want him to just go complete batshit crazy.
I don't know if we can do that now, though, with Jericho doing it.
Well, if Jericho's going away.
Yeah. Yeah, have somebody with a loose nut. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Joe, your thoughts on the main event?
Couple of things. Match is okay. It was fun. But I absolutely agree with you. I think Hook being in a trios with Joe and Shibata is great because I think that Hook with those guys can do what Yuta was with BCC.
Yeah.
Where he was learning from Danielson and Moxley. I think, and if Yuta can get even like half of what Yuta's gotten, he'll be vastly improved.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite thing of this whole match wasn't even the match. It's the fact that Shibata had the choke on Moxley for longer than their match at the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Like, they just cut to him and he's just beat red and Shibata's just laying there choking him out.
Yeah.
That was really cool because it died right in. And
yeah.
And he made him legit by doing that.
For me, the issue with Hook in this era of wrestling is the boys don't. This isn't the WWE where you're running multiple shows throughout the week. So therefore, flying is not necessarily the best selection. Sometimes it's a 2-hour drive to the next town to do a live show. You don't have that opportunity in AEW. Collision is usually filmed somewhere else other than Dynamite. So the problem you have is you don't have these intermingles where Shibata and all them can sit in a car and talk for a few hours, and Hook can absorb this.
Oh, you're saying they're missing the road trip aspect of things.
Absolutely. I think that pays a lot. Like if you look at the Road Diaries that Colt Cabana did,
that's a good documentary.
It's a great documentary because it really shows you the camaraderie between these guys. Talk about moves, talking about matches, yeah.
Let's get Luna's thoughts on this.
Do it.
So we can wrap up this show sometime in the next.
We're at an hour and a half.
Oh yeah. Nothing. We thought so.
If you want to do a filibuster tonight.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. There's nothing really more to say except for it was a pretty good match to end the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe's intensity was awesome. Anyways, that's the end of the show. The bell rings. The guy standing in the ring for a few minutes. Excalibur goes over what's going on over the next few days. Then we cut. Now we enter the flower shop. You ask yourself, how do you get into the flower shop? Well, normally we just leave the door open. You just open the door, the little bell would ring, and we know you were in the flower shop. But it's been so popular that now you have to have a code to get into the flower shop. And once you have that code, you have the opportunity to purchase Adrian Adonis t-shirts. Where can you get those t-shirts? ProWrestlingTees.com/Adrian Adonis, where you can get all of your Adrian Adonis gear. Favorite match, favorite segment, number of bells, your favorite 80s sitcom. Canada Dry, you go first, my friend.
All right. We're talking about my favorite match tonight, and I gotta go with the Ops versus the Death Riders. They surprised me. I just was entertained by this, and it made the Ops into stars because the passion of Joe, the connection with Shibata and Moxley, and all that. I thought that was beautifully done.
Yeah.
My favorite segment was Chris Jericho and the Learning Tree, and just Chris going batshit crazy. I love it. And I think Bill has been holding his own on the mic lately, and I think he's really progressed, and I think he can carry his own weight now. And I'm giving the rating of this show. I thought it was a really good show. I was entertained by it. I'm giving this a 4.2.
Ooh, 4.2. All right. Add to the calculator. Joe, your turn.
Oh, my 80s show. My
Oh,
80s
yeah.
show. I gotta go with Three's Company. I loved Jack, Janet, and Chrissy, and later the other people, and Don Knotts, and all the other different people. Such a great show. I can still turn that on today and still laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
And John Ritter, just a hell of a comedian.
All right. Joseph, your turn, my friend.
Okay, so my favorite match, I love the 8-man tag craziness. So that's my match of the night. My segment of the night is probably MJF and the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
I liked it. It got a lot done without having to do much. I'm giving this 3.75. I enjoyed it. The first half hour flew by. The show made me laugh, and it advanced, and even a little bit, stories advanced. So I can't complain. And my favorite 80s sitcom. So I Googled this just to make sure it was technically an 80s sitcom. But it's Family Matters. Love that show.
TGI.
It started in the 80s?
It's what it says. Yeah, there was 9 seasons, and I know Family Matters did not last until 1999. I know that much.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah.
Luna.
My match of the night was also the money match. I guess you could call it the money match. And my segment of the night is oddly Chris Jericho. I never did get into the Learning Tree. I thought the whole thing was bad. And this is my favorite thing that's ever come out of the Learning Tree.
Now we have to wait for him to come back and do it.
Yeah.
And my favorite 80s sitcom is a late 80s one. It's Full House.
Yeah, Full House.
And I give this show about a 3.5. The first hour was just kind of and then the other part was really good. So
yeah. All right. So JFB's turn. Favorite match, main event. Was it? It was a fuller match than the rest. The rest of the matches were too short. They didn't establish or build anything. They just kind of fell flat. I thought
this show was segment heavy, right?
Huh?
Yeah, it was
This show was segment heavy.
Very heavy segment. Speaking of segments, my favorite segment was the whole shenanigans in the front.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucks, Omega, all these people coming in, building the storylines. Whether the storyline is worth it or not remains to be seen. Right now, they're they're basically casting out multiple lines and hoping something will bite. My favorite 80s sitcom is the one that I watched in another room, so my parents didn't catch me watching it, and that was Married with Children. I had a huge crush on Christine Applegate. The show was funny. Al and Peggy and their dynamic was fantastic.
That was another one that was on the edge of the 80s as well.
Yeah. And, Bud and his evolution was absolutely fantastic. The fact that they switched dogs halfway through the series was fantastic. It's like Dick York and Dick Sargent from I Dream of Jeannie. The show itself was an okay show. It was a reset, but I think it was a very soft reset. I don't think it was the hard reset that really needs to happen. I think there's just a lot of questions. It's like throwing out Scrabble tiles and then trying to make a word out of it and do it within 5 seconds. Like, there's just so much on the table right now that I think it's too much for you to focus on one specific thing and say, that's what I'm going to focus on. This is what I'm going to focus on.
What are you grading it, JB? Come on.
3.5. There we go.
Can you do 3.51?
Huh?
Can you do 3.51 so you can Bob Barker Tiff here?
Yeah, 3.51. All right. Joe, what's the cumulative score?
3.74.
It's not too bad. Anyways, if you want to find us, all the links are down below. Click on your keyboard. Go ahead and find us. We got multitudes of things, T-shirts, prediction leagues, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Great communities on Messenger. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of EVP Joe, on behalf of the Luna, I am the JFB.
We're running long, so if you're down and out, hold on. Just keep fighting.
Woo!
Well, dagnabbit, I'm having a hard time, and he just tells me to just keep fighting. I gotta wait to see what happens. Oh my goodness, I want to take an anti-anxiety pill.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tony Schiavone for the All Fan Wrestling Network.
At least